It's one of TAG's premier events of the year. That's right. The Technology Association of Georgia presents the 2015 Excalibur Awards, created in 2005 to recognize Georgia's tech-enabled companies that demonstrate exemplary competency in utilizing technology to enhance their businesses. Greetings, everyone, and welcome from the Technology Association of Georgia. This is Tech Talk, October 16, 2015, and I'm your host, Frank Baia. Up to today's edition, the Excalibur Awards, and the excitement surrounding this year's guest speaker. That's right. Once again, TAG celebrates the best of Georgia companies, the ones that use today's technology to facilitate competitive advantage. And this year, a special feature, as TAG presents for the first time guest speaker Mark Oakley, Senior Vice President and Chief Information Officer with State Farm Insurance Companies, with candid insights about their recent move to Georgia and about its advanced innovations that it's using right here in Atlanta. To Tech Talk and tell us more about State Farm, meet Todd Ferguson, IT Manager for the company. Todd has over 15 years of information technology experience at State Farm. He draws upon his many years of experience as he leads the expansion of the State Farm's IT into the metro Atlanta area. His responsibilities include managing university and IT community relationships throughout the Southeast, as well as executing State Farm's K-12 science, technology, engineering, and mathematics initiatives in Atlanta. It all happens Friday, October 23rd at the Georgia Aquarium, the 2015 Excalibur Awards, hosted in collaboration with Business and Technology Alliance Society. Be sure to mark your calendars as we learn more about just why State Farm expanded into the Atlanta area and about its IT initiatives and what this prestigious industry leader brings to our community as we Tech Talk Excalibur, State Farm, and more with its IT manager, Todd Ferguson. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. TAG TV and TAG Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Todd, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thank you. On behalf of State Farm, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. Mark Oakley, our Senior Vice President and Chief Information Officer, was not able to be here today, but he asked that I go ahead and do the interview for him. But he certainly wanted me to convey his excitement for the upcoming Excalibur Awards, and he's certainly very honored to be selected this year as the keynote speaker.
Well, needless to say, we were honored to have him. I think a lot of people are excited about the prospect, a lot of buzz about what's been going on with State Farm, especially the relocation in terms of the greater Atlanta. Go into a little bit about some of the background on that. Tell us a little bit about State Farm and maybe a little indication of what's going on.
Yeah, great question. So certainly a lot going on with State Farm. For those that aren't familiar with State Farm, we are a 93-year-old company, founded in 1922, have been the number one insurer of autos since 1942. And we're also the number one insurers of homeowners, and recently became the number one insurance of life insurance policies in force. And we also have the 76th largest bank. So a lot of things going on at State Farm from a size and scale. But the biggest thing about State Farm is that, you know, there's a lot of pride, and we're honored that our customers have chosen to choose us for their insurance and financial needs for over 93 years. That's something that we don't take lightly. And so everything that we're doing as a company is really related to two drivers, and that's providing a remarkable customer experience and growing State Farm. But secondly, as you're aware, our growth in Atlanta, I think we're all excited, and it's not just Atlanta. Historically, our IT operations have predominantly been based in our corporate office in Bloomington, Illinois. But we recently expanded IT operations into Atlanta, Dallas, and Phoenix, Arizona as well. First and foremost, here in Atlanta, we're about a year and a half into our existence as our growth, but a lot of opportunities here. We're definitely growing as an IT department. The IT department itself has over 6,000 IT professionals, supporting over 65,000 employees, 18,000 agents, and over 68,000 agent staff members. And we have offices for our agents that are located in over 18,000 sites. So when you think about supporting all of that, obviously the size and scale of the IT department at State Farm is very large. One of the cool things about the growth into Atlanta is it's certainly allowing us to stay relevant and mature our operations. As you know, Atlanta is a very vibrant technology community. We're very pleased to be part of that community. We're surrounded and immersed with, from a university and college perspective, from a technical perspective. And so it really just positions us very nicely to be able to expand our IT operations, attract top talent, and really position ourselves for future growth and opportunities.
Talk a little bit about operations versus innovation. You know, the fact that I'm assuming when you describe something as huge as State Farm, and I think most of our listeners, if not all of them, think State Farm is synonymous with the kinds of quality of image that you're talking about, and certainly the services that you've come known for and provided, as you pointed out, almost, a century, I think you mentioned, as far as the length of time you've been doing this. But I'm curious, when you mentioned Dallas and some of the other areas, part of that's got to be operational, part of it's got to be innovational. Tell us a little bit about that.
Certainly. So as you know, we all know, customers' needs are constantly changing. And, what wasn't even 10 years ago, maybe, 8 years ago, that there was a thing introduced just as a smartphone that came out that continues to transform the way customers expect to do business. And we at State Farm are no different. So we're undertaking major operational changes in our organization to meet our customers' needs, but we're also really focusing on that innovation and research to be able to be in front of that. Our customers have come to expect over the years that State Farm is best in class, so they want an application or a system. They want to interact with us any way possible that they choose, and they expect that to be perfect. And so as we are making changes operationally to better serve our customer needs, we're certainly continuing to push the innovation and research of making sure that our technology and our business operations meet the needs of our customers going forward.
Well, certainly, and I think most of our listeners would understand that would be a mandate as much as it is a commitment and a dedication as far as the company is concerned. I guess one of the things, we talk about here on Tech Talk a lot is not just the verticals of a particular industry, CRM or internet security or fintech or something like that, but we deal horizontally across all of them. And one of the things that seemingly comes about when we do have a chance to talk to the levels of C-level executives as yourself is everything's the same, only different. A lot of cloud computing, a lot of high-speed connectivity, a lot of apps, as you mentioned. Tell us a little bit about the search for innovation. Is that something you guys do constantly? Is it customer-driven? Is it looking into the future in terms of what new market opportunities? Is it a combination of both with a little bit of new technologies scattered on top? I think some of our listeners would be curious about how you approach that.
Certainly. So just a clarity there. So I'm the IT workforce manager here in Atlanta. Mark, obviously, is our CIO and Senior Vice President, but I can certainly speak to that point. When you think about technology and the challenges at State Farm, when I kind of listed there the number of policies we had, the size and scale of that, you think about technology, we have, I believe, 8.3 petabytes of data within our organization. So anyone familiar with that, that is an extreme amount of data. And so as we continue to look at our operations on the size and scale of that, we know that we have to integrate our applications to be more consistent. We know that we are, obviously migrating across from the .NET into the mobile platform. We're constantly all aware of data breaches in our industry. So how to get into State Farm, make sure that we're protecting that data from our customers. We don't want to be a case sample or case example for other companies. So a lot of rigor, a lot of attention, all of that. But as we're growing, there's certain things within the technology, like upgrades and things like that, that we're doing to meet the needs of our customers, that just general maintenance things. But from an innovation and research, you think of all the different things going on in the marketplace today, especially in the insurance field. You've got autonomous vehicles, you've got self-driven vehicles that are being explored. So all that has changes within the insurance climate. You also have a lot of regulatory and compliance things happening, and all that demands our IT solutions are there to meet our customers' needs. So when you think about the technology with that, whether it's big data, information security, your mobile platforms, your software development, all that has to be integrated. And so you have your older systems, but then you also have your new technologies. And how do you make sure that's integratable, sustainable, and again has that best-of-class experience for our customers?
You know, I'm listening and I'm thinking, what do you do on Tuesday? That sounded like a bad Monday. I mean, I think our audience has got to be the same as I am, just sitting in awe. You know, when I posed the question, I knew it was going to be interesting, but until you peel back the onion skin and begin to realize what it's all about and how much you guys are involved. I mean, you mentioned driverless cars, I think, in terms of transportation changes and how that's got to impact insurance. Hadn't even given any thought to that. So it's a case where not only do you have to contain yourself in terms of what's happening today or even the next week, but you've got to look ahead and kind of, I guess, assume or guesstimate what's next and then be able to react and react quickly. You mentioned a couple of things earlier about Atlanta, and certainly we're proud that to have accomplished so many things over the course of, especially the last 15 or 20 years as far as the technology industry is concerned. A lot of concentrated growth, a lot of great companies that seem to be attracted to Atlanta. We often think in terms of why Atlanta, why would you come here? Let's maybe pose the question another way, and that's what do you feel State Farm brings to the community of Atlanta?
Yeah, great question. And so for those familiar with State Farm, I mean, State Farm's a very relationship-based company. If you think about our agency model, it's not an 800 number. It's someone, if you need something for your financial services or insurance needs, you know who your agent is to contact. They know you. They know your family. And so in that way, State Farm coming to Atlanta is no different. Obviously, we're very excited to be part of the Atlanta community. It's such a vibrant community. It's a very relationship-based community. And we're not just here, obviously, to expand our IT operations, both technology as well as the business areas, but we're really here to be part of that fabric of the organization or the community. So State Farm is well known for our commitment to communities. We're very active in building stronger, safer, better educated communities. So we have a number of different things that we are definitely focused on. And so first and foremost, we definitely expect our employees to be actively involved in the communities in which they live. So that can be through volunteerism, mentorship of technologies, actively engaged in universities. We're also very active in the K-12 STEM initiatives, which we believe is very foundational to the future success of our country. And so heavily involved in building those relationships and executing our STEM strategy within the community. And then lastly, I would just add that we definitely want to be a good steward and a good representative of the tech community in Atlanta. So we're very much engaged in the technology groups and associations in Atlanta. And so we want to be able to leverage and help influence the tech community in Georgia as well as other communities. But those are really kind of three foundational things that State Farm is very active about.
Well, now we've talked about the bigger picture, the corporate involvement. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I'm going to guess you're a long-term State Farm employee. How long have you been there?
I've been here now just over, it'll be 16 years next month, and it's amazing how fast that has gone.
It just seemed like yesterday. You were there before the phone, before the iPhone.
I was going to say, if you start putting together the evolution of where technology was in 1999 where I joined, then yeah, it does seem like a very long time ago. But in all candidness, it certainly has gone fast.
Well, it's dating myself to say that, you benchmark things like when the iPhone got introduced. I benchmarked when we landed on the moon. So it's sort of like a lot has changed over a period of seemingly a fast period of time. Well, something like 15, 16 years. I think our audience would be curious. I want to ask you a personal question. What gets you excited about working for State Farm, and more specifically, working in the IT department? I can't imagine, are we going to have enough time to listen to all of the things that excite you? Go ahead, tell us. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I could probably go on, but it's a very, I wanted to clarify that as I talk about this, it's really with a sense of pride I think at State Farm, the culture here, you'll find a lot of employees like myself with even longer tenure that are very proud and honored to be part of the State Farm legacy. It's a company that we all believe in. We're proud to take care and serve our customers, especially in their time of needs. We have a responsibility to do that. And also we want to make sure that the company continues to evolve and grow. And so that's not something that we take lightly. But when you think about why 16 years or longer at a company, a lot of people say, wow, how do you stay challenged? How do you stay motivated? And the thing at State Farm is so unique in that, first and foremost, I have really good work-life balance. So, I'm married. I have a daughter that is really important to me, that I want to be there and be a good father, a good husband. But obviously I want to do good for my company. But State Farm gives me that flexibility, gives me that work-life balance. But also they've invested heavily in me. They've given me excellent opportunities to develop myself, opportunities to grow, opportunities to take on new challenges in different areas of the IT department. And I think that's the big thing. When you think about the size and scale of our organization, you're able to effectively move to different areas with the one common theme, and that is I enjoy working with a lot of my great coworkers. Relationships not only within the community of what State Farm stands for is important, but also those relationships at work are very critical. And so when you bring all that together, and you have collaboration, you have innovation, you have a leadership that is constantly asking us to do more, challenge ourselves, and grow. Why not State Farm, I think, is the question I continue to ask myself. And to be candid, in those 16 years, and I know this is probably a very odd trend in today's marketplace, I've never once even considered leaving State Farm for all those factors.
Well, I got to tell you, you can hear the passion and the commitment in your voice. And I was going to jokingly say, are you hiring? But I don't want to put you on the spot and imply that's anything less than a response to the amazing description of your personal experience with the company. I think that's really came across as clearly something that you're passionate about. And I think a lot of our listeners, I'm impressed with that comment. Let me close by just saying that obviously we're looking forward to the presentation. It's only going to be a couple of weeks away. But actually, more importantly, I know how busy everybody is over there, especially with the move and especially with what we've been talking about today, Todd. But thank you so much for taking time out of a busy schedule to join us for a few minutes today on Tech Talk.